Hey fellas, Edge 4006 here. Just doing a video about the topic I've been thinking about doing for a while. This topic is not so much gun safety, but people that are anti-gun or don't care to have guns in their homes. I can completely respect that opinion or ideology as far as not wanting a gun in their home and not caring to have one in their home. But I think that there's a little more to it than that. If you don't want to have a gun in your house, by all means, do not have one. It's not for everybody. It is, in my opinion, a lifestyle change when you start carrying a gun, and when you have a gun in your daily routine, because you have to do things different, like securing your gun, always having it, either on you or locked up. It's a routine you go through, beginning of the day and the end of the day. And what I want to talk about is when you hear about some people saying, I don't want a gun in the house. I completely understand that, again. But, because I have kids in the house, and I don't want my kids being anywhere near guns. I hear a lot of negative things about gun. Accidents happen in the homes where children are there, and they find access to the guns. Well, there's a couple things to that. One, lock up your guns. Put them in at least a gun cabinet. So, something just to put some kind of deterrent for them getting into them. Yes, kids will get keys or, try to make a key, or teenagers and whatnot. There is always a way, but put something between you and that gun, some kind of storage device to secure it. A small safe, those little smaller safes that they make for storage and whatnot, or a gun cabinet, or a big safe, whatever you can fit, whatever you can afford. But put something there. Get those guns locked up when you're not using them. I believe in carrying a gun on your person all the time. When I'm in my house, I have a gun always on me or near me. For instance, he's right here. Somebody kicks in that door behind me. I got that gun ready to rock and roll. I'm not waiting for it to happen, but I'm just prepared. The other thing I want to talk about is when people say they don't want guns in the house because of accidents and kids having access to them and stuff like that. If you don't want your kids being around guns at all, that's your business. You make those decisions for your home and your children. But when your kids are out playing at your neighbor's house, and they're out, at Billy's house or Jack's house down the way, and Billy's dad got a gun, Jack's dad got a gun. I mean, first thing I'll tell you when we're kids is everybody else, hey, you want to see my dad's gun? All right, cool, man. And luckily we never got into any trouble, but none of us back then really knew how to, at least the guys I knew how to really, to basically secure the weapon, to take a bullet out of the chamber if you did accidentally charge it. Most people had revolvers back then, but let's say they had a semi-automatic and you charge it and you're like, oh, I gotta get that bullet out. My dad's gonna know that I was messing with it, if it wasn't loaded already. So, I mean, that kind of stuff we didn't know how to do. How to basically pull out the magazine, slide back, and clear the chamber and check it. It was something that I learned later, in handling guns. But if kids find a gun like that, and they're at a friend's house, and that you're a kid that you don't want touching guns, I mean, you need to talk to them first of all and let them know that, hey, the guns aren't to be touched at all. If it's like my kids know, I'm not taking them out shooting. I have 3 kids. They're older. Two of my kids are older, and then I have an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 9-year-old. And all of them know they're not allowed to touch any guns unless I'm the one who hands it to them, because I've handed it to them and I make sure the gun is secure. And they shouldn't be touching any other people's guns. If you find somebody's gun, they know to keep their hands off it. Now, are they going to listen to me every time? I would hope so. I don't think sometimes my son, the way he is, hard-headed, just like me when I was, but anyway, I won't go there. But there's a good chance he might, oh, let me show you this, I know how to do this. But he does know how to clear a weapon. He knows how to check the weapon to see if there's a bullet in there. He knows how to, cycle a round out and, pull the magazine out and make sure the gun is safe, as he would hand it to somebody. He does know that much. And, but, like I said, when your kids are there playing with Billy and you don't want them touching any guns and they happen to get their hands on one, they have to know, this is my belief, even if you don't want them touching guns, and eventually they might. So you want to let them know not to be afraid to go ahead and get a hold of you. And if you don't know how to properly just how to secure the gun, clear it, then have somebody. But you can't be afraid to ask somebody, and your kids shouldn't be afraid to ask you. But I know this is one of those subjects that has all these tangents that can keep going, and what if and what if and what if and what if. It's a lot of what ifs. Depends on the environment you're in. But basically, what I'm trying to come across is just because you don't believe in guns or you don't care to have them doesn't mean that somebody in your in your neighborhood or area where you live doesn't mean one of your neighbors don't have them. So you might want to think about that and be a little more open-minded to learning a little more about it. Learn a little more about what you don't care for in politics. Sometimes I listen to different sides of different things I don't care for, just to see what the opinion is on the other side, just to know what's going on. And it's not a bad thing to do. And if you don't like them a lot, just check them out and see what you can learn, some basic stuff about them. There are things in the house people prepare for, fire drills and whatnot. This is, again, if you don't own a gun, you're probably not going to do this, but it's a good thing to have some basic knowledge around. And I think that people should check that out. Anyway, I'm kind of talking about it. Just wanted a subject on my mind. Thought about it would make a good video, or at least something to talk about. And that's basically it. Is if you don't, just because you don't care for guns, and that's not going to be something you're going to have. But you love your kids a lot, and you don't want them also playing with guns and stuff. There's a chance they might do it at somebody else's house. So again, make sure you know what's going on. You know your neighbors, and you're not afraid to ask them. Hey, if do you have guns in the house? If you do, it's their business not to tell you. Some might not. And if they do, it's you can know that their guns are secure. People ask me, hey, do you got any guns? Yeah. And I always let them know, hey, they're secure. They're locked up. I don't have them just hanging on the here and spread out in the house. They're all locked up when I'm not using them or if I don't have them on me. Alright guys, H4006 signing out, man. Fight the good fight. Keep your group style, brothers.